So we did the alliums on Derry's plot this year in the main, and today I'm going to take out these long red Florence shallots. They are beauties. I don't think there's any point letting these stay in the ground any longer. They're getting a bit of mildew on the leaves. You know, they haven't fallen over, but you know, they're just so big that best to take them out now before there's any more problems. And to be honest, it won't be long, I don't think, before we take out all the other onions. There's a good mix of sizes. We find that the smaller ones keep really well. You know, we actually just stopped or ran out of stored onions, I think 2 weeks ago, something like that. So incredible, really. Whereas the bigger ones, they don't keep as well. So that's an important thing to remember. In fact, I always thought that the bigger ones would keep a bit better, the medium-sized ones. I always knew that really big onions don't keep very well at all, but medium-sized ones seem to keep okay. And then we just left a crate full of smaller onions, which were meant to be the used first ones. So basically, like the small reject onions is the way I thought about them. And we forgot about them. Just sort of stuck them away in a corner, and then when we discovered them, you know, they were all perfect. We hardly lost a single one of those. And then I kind of talked about that on the YouTube channel, and quite a few people said that they had a similar experience where the smaller onions just kept really well, and the medium-sized and the bigger onions didn't keep as well. So yeah, let's get these out. And normally when an onion's ready to come out, it's oh dear. Oh dear. Onion fly. I just hope I'm not going to pick all these and find onion fly in them all. I don't think there's any in there, but so big there's a bit of splitting. Let's take another one out. That one I think is okay. This is going to be a nerve-wracking experience now. So far so good. Just one so far with onion fly, but just look at that. That is a nice shallot. Now, I have watered these with the fruit and veg protection nematode, which in theory protects against onion fly, but nothing's perfect. Yeah, so these are great. So I'm going to carry on with this, and I'll show you a few of the beds of shallots and onions and things like that, and we'll see how it turns out. Right, well, that wasn't as much fun as I was expecting. So these are the onions that had at least one onion fly maggot in them, and I think these could probably be salvaged. I might actually try and salvage them. I'll just chop the ends off and see if there's any evidence of onion fly sort of maggots penetrating. But I can smell, on some of these, you can just smell the rot. It's disgusting. So that one in particular, as you can see, it's just mank. And there's 3 or 4 down there that were sort of a bit rotten. Not surprising given how wet it is. It makes me worry about these onions. So I'm going to have to do some sort of test harvest of these onions as well, and see how they're looking. I'm just going to pick the bigger ones. And then I've got another bed down there of shallots, so I'm going to have to do a test harvest of those. So bear with me, we'll see how it goes. Right, so this is what we ended up with. You know, I'm probably 95% confident that these don't have any onion fly maggots in them. But I put them this way round on the trestle table so I can kind of keep an eye on them and, you know, have a good look as they progress with the drying. I think they're okay. I take a few deep breaths. I can't smell any rot at the moment. You know, that's a good sign. So they do look lovely though. And I have like a little box of ones that did have the odd maggot on them, but I've obviously washed those off, and I've washed all the roots off as well so that I can actually see them, because otherwise they were pretty difficult to see amongst all that soil. Yeah, and the little box, you know, looks like we'll be able to use those in the next few days and they should be okay. And then down here, these are the first sort of few of the red onions. So these are the ones, you know, that were salad onions. So these are basically like big salad onions, and they're kind of looking reasonably okay. I haven't had a chance to clean any of those up. I'll just have to leave those now. And these are just like the test pick of a few of the little ones from Debbie's plot. And again, I didn't find any onion fly, so it's kind of interesting really. I don't really understand the habits of onion fly very well, but anyway, it seems that they left the onions alone and concentrated on the shallots, but it may have just been that they arrived at the shallots first and never got round to getting to the onions. Who knows really. So we're in a bit of a quandary now as to what we do with the rest of the onions, because obviously like this about like 5% of the onions. They're not really ready to pick. You know, obviously they're all still green, they haven't flopped over, all that. But have they got onion fly underneath them? In which case it would wipe the crop out. So I think what we've decided to do is probably pick half of them, and yeah, just use those kind of first, and then the second half we'll leave and, you know, just take a risk on, and they'll be the ones that we'll end up storing. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, my name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.